Looking at the Markets with David Modell.
Welcome to Looking at the Markets with David Modell. Today, my very special guest is Mr. Elbers Sorkabi. He's the CEO of ExHasta, located on the web at ExHasta.com. So, Elbers, welcome today to Looking at the Markets.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, David.
Well, it's a pleasure to speak with you. So let's talk about ExHasta. Now, ExHasta uses the blockchain to fund the development of new moonshot projects and auction, sell, and then freely distribute the intellectual property produced. But what exactly is a moonshot project?
It's a great question. So a moonshot project is really any kind of project that uses groundbreaking technology to create radical change. So we know most companies, when they're working on projects, their real hope is to get a 10% change. But moonshots are aiming at a 10 times change. So a lot of moonshots are seen as these crazy big ideas. They're radical. A good example is Elon Musk's Hyperloop. That's a transportation moonshot. At ExHasta, we've got a lot of different concepts that we're talking about as moonshots, which include AI-controlled public transit and creating these high transparency social banks. But really, it could be any new and impactful technology, kind of like AI and machine learning, augmented and virtual reality, Internet of Things, blockchain itself, cloud computing and big data. There's so many different technologies that could have a high impact on society.
Absolutely. Now, two important components of ExHasta are ExHasta Catalyst and ExHasta Meridian. Can you tell me about both of those, please?
Absolutely. So Catalyst is where all of our intellectual property ends up. So as we're going through and developing these moonshot projects and their groundbreaking technologies, we take everything that we've tested out in the world, so that includes all the things that we've built, designed, thought about, researched, planned, all of it. All of that ends up on Catalyst, where anyone can acquire it at an extremely low cost. So we're talking things like blueprints, schematics, source code, guides, reports, contracts, budgets. Literally everything that would have gone into creating these moonshot projects will be available for anyone to use. Now, Meridian, on the other hand, is the professional training side of ExHasta. So we want to create a global network of innovators and entrepreneurs that can really harness the tools and moonshots that we're developing. So to do this, we allow anyone to apply to the Meridian sessions on our platform, and other platform users actually rank and review them through a number of different blind and public elimination rounds. So really, our community decides the top 20 applicants who are going to represent them, and those top 20 applicants get to join us for an all-expense paid 1-month summit that involves everything from training sessions, networking events, guest lecturers, and really an in-depth look at us working on the moonshot projects while they're with us. We find that the two of these together really complement each other.
That sounds great. But what is the advantage of using blockchain technology to implement these moonshot projects?
So the advantage of blockchain for us is that it brings the power of network effects to a global scale. So when we have something that gains value, the more people that are using it, that's a perfect time to explore network effects. So when you think about combining these network effects with innovation, it makes perfect sense. We want to develop these radical, high-impact technologies, and for us, success is getting those tools and technologies into the hands of as many innovators, entrepreneurs, and small businesses as possible. Innovation is one of those things that naturally wants to spread like wildfire. When something cool and new comes out, everyone wants to do it, but there's usually things that are holding them back, and these things are usually the cost of distribution, the cost of acquiring these kind of technologies. And frankly, in most cases, it's kind of sad to talk about, but when we see all these new innovations coming out, a lot of the times they don't reach a lot of the world. They're very holed up in some high wealth regions. So blockchain for us is the perfect platform to take advantage of network effects and allow our moonshots to spread all around the world.
All right. Well, I understand that you have an amazing team at ExHasta. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. I'm extremely fortunate to work with every member of our team. I've spent many years working on large-scale, cutting-edge technology projects in a number of different fields. And along the way, I've met all these pioneers and industry veterans, and they've all expressed the same need. And that need is they all want to work on something impactful and challenging. You know, it's unfortunate, but the problem in reality is that it's very difficult for amazingly talented people to find somewhere where they are both challenged and creating a lot of impact. So over the past year and a half, our team has come together and we've been developing this concept of creating these moonshots. And within ourselves, we've created a number of different methodologies that allow it to be possible. And our team backgrounds range from particle physics, music, chemical engineering, computer science, space tech, media development, future studies, and more. So we have this kind of amazing, I almost joke it's kind of like the Justice League, and we're going to come together to work on these moonshots. So we're also extremely fortunate to be supported by incredible advisors from a number of different backgrounds as well. I'm honestly quite humbled by it.
So the EXH token crowd sale, that runs from October 27 through November 24. And the pre-sale will begin on October 19 and will end on October 26. So will there be any discounts on EXH tokens during the pre-sale?
Yeah, so there's a 30% discount on the EXH tokens during the pre-sale, and it's the best time to get into the EXH tokens because it's the highest discount you're going to get.
Yeah, 30%, that's pretty massive, and that's a real opportunity. I always say that people who get in early get the best deal, so I would certainly...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about fundraising. What are the fundraising goals for the pre-sale as well as the crowd sale?
So our pre-sale goal is to raise 350,000 US dollars. Our crowd sale has 3 different targets. The first target is kind of our minimum target, which is 5.3 million US dollars. And this will allow us to create 2 moonshot projects over the course of 2 years. Our next target up for the crowd sale is 13.4 million US. And that allows us to create 3 moonshots over 3 years. And then our maximum cap is 25 million US. And that allows us to create 4 moonshots over 4 years and get all that intellectual property into the hands of people around the world.
Yeah, this is huge. Lots of potential here. So if investors want to get involved in the EXH token pre-sale, or just want to learn more about ExHasta, first of all, I know they can go to ExHasta.com. But if people want to contact your organization as well as check you out on social media, how can they do that?
The best place to start is ExHasta.com, like you said. That's www.exhasta.com. Right on the top of the website, there's links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Telegram, our Bitcoin Talk, and we've got a team that's working around the clock to support anyone and answer any questions. Our white paper is extremely thorough. I know it's a bit long and hard to read sometimes, but the most information you can get is from our white paper. For any investors who'd like to contact us directly, they can feel free to contact us at investors@exhasta.com. That's investors@exhasta.com. And we're happy to chat with anybody.
I've been speaking with Mr. Elbers Sorkabi. He's the CEO of ExHasta. The token is EXH. The website is exhasta.com. If you're going to get in, I'd say get in earlier rather than later. The crowd sale is from October 27 to November 24, but if you can get involved in the pre-sale, you'll get that 30% discount. That begins on October 19, runs through the 26th of October. I'm excited about this. I can't wait to see the launch of ExHasta as well as the EXH token. Mr. Elbers Sorkabi, I hope you can become a frequent guest with me here on Looking at the Markets.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure, David. Thanks for having me.